Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this. And today joining me, probably coming into the centre of the screen now, is Tony from Friday Night Garage. How do, sir?
All right, my man, how you doing? Hope it's all
I'm
well.
very well. Very well. You know, in these times, what can you do? You've got to just crack on.
It's shocking, isn't it? It's absolutely shocking.
So, we'll kick straight in with the first question. Obviously, not just a classic Mini. Why a Mini pickup?
Well, when my dad passed away, I was left a wee bit of money. Not a lot of money, but there's a wee bit of money. I thought to myself, I wanted something different. You know what I mean? You know, I wasn't really into minis. You know, until my son got one, and when I had a shot on his mini, it was horrendous. You know what I mean? You know, he had it so low. Honestly, it was absolutely, you know, to drive, it was absolutely horrible, and it put me right off them. You know what I mean? And
wow.
I know, but when I finally bought it off him, well, I swapped him. I had a 1950s split screen Morris Minor.
Wow.
So he was after one of those. So I said, right, you know, he'll swap me for it. So that's what I've done. So I said, okay, you can have that, and I'll take the Mini as a project. And as I got into the Mini, I started to really enjoy it. You know, because it's such a simple car. Because before that, I was doing my Lancia Stratus, but not a real one. Obviously, it was a kit car. It was a very early kit car back in, I think it's made in 81, and by a company called Allura, and they only made about 13 of them. And
So what was
and
it
I had
based
this.
on?
It was based on you know, you can Google it. They used to rally them in the 70s. It used to win everything, apart until until the Audi Quattro came along, and it blew it out the water. You know, but it's based on it was based on I think they were supposed to make, I think it's 300 or 500 of these cars to rally them, and they had a Fiat Dino engine in them.
Right.
But obviously I couldn't afford a Dino engine, obviously, you know what I mean? So it was based on a Lancia 131 2 litre twin cam. So I went and bought this car from a friend of mine, and he had it for many years. And you know, like I say, I had this for about 15 years. And if you think back to when Keith Miller was putting his windscreen in his car, now he's done this 100 times. You know what I mean? And then you start to doubt yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is what this car was like. It was like 15 years of pure hell. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It just kept fighting you all the way.
Yeah.
And you started to disbelieve your abilities. You know, in doing these things. You know what I mean? Then I finally sold it. The wife was crying her eyes out because it was part of the family. You know what I mean? I said, look, you know, it's going, it's gone. So I just ended up selling it, and then just started again, getting back into you know, the actual classic car scene again. And then, you know, like I say, I've got the Mini, and for anybody who's starting out on, you know, their first sort of car, that would be the one to take. You know what I mean? The parts are available. You know what I mean? They're reasonably priced. You know what I mean? And if you take your time, it's just a great car to work on.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a good community behind it as well, which I think is also important.
It's absolutely fantastic. You know what I mean? The first videos I ever saw on minis was Sean C. And I watched him all the time. You know what I mean? I watched a lot of videos. I watched them all. You know what I mean? But at that time, it was Sean C. All the way until I got into the mini scene a wee bit more over the last 2 years. And obviously, you know, there's just, you know, yourself, you know, there's Alex Toon, you know, there's Dave Jaguar, there's so many of them, you know what I mean? But they are a good community, and they're all there to help. If you need help, they're there to help, you know what I mean? And this is what it's all about, you know.
That's what an answer. That gives some of your car history, which was very impressive. So I like some of that. So now you've said this. You've said what car you would choose, but obviously your channel, like most of ours, is a restoration channel. What advice would you give for someone looking to start a restoration? So say if they've got the car, whether it be a Mini, what would you suggest the next step is?
What, from a Mini?
So they bought a Mini and they want to restore it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, basically, it's just to take your time.
Yeah.
There's boys going out there. There's no right way or wrong way of doing things. You know what I mean? You learn by your mistakes. Everybody learns by their mistakes. That's life. There's certain things I would do that other people probably won't do, and vice versa. You know what I mean? If I'm going to put in a floor pan, for instance, you know what I mean, and I have to change 2 floor pan, either side, I'd rather go for a full floor pan.
Yeah.
It's less work, in my opinion. But everybody's different. Everybody's abilities. You always have your strong points and your weaknesses. Everybody's got them. You know what I mean? Because there's always a reference point when working on a car. I mean, and a Mini is quite more simplified than like an Escort, for instance. You know what I mean? It's got chassis legs. It's got running from back to front.
Yeah.
These things, a Mini hasn't got that.
Yeah.
I prefer to work on a car from the floor, not on a jig.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? For obvious reasons. But I find it easier, for me doing it that way. And you've always, like I say, you've always got a reference point to work from, and then just think ahead the next panel that's going to be fitted to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just a matter of a piece it all together, but it's just a matter of taking your time. If you're not any good at welding or things like that, just practice it.
Yeah.
Practice welding and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Perfect thing there. Take your time, because I think a lot of people get a false representation from these TV shows where they're turning it around. In a couple of days. 1, there's 30 men doing that. 2,
Correct.
they've had all the parts already stored up.
Correct.
And it even film it. Even that whole process. It's not taking them a few days. It's taking them a few weeks. But it gives that false impression. And I think a lot of people jump in and go, "Oh, I could go buy a classic car and I could do that." And it's like, you can. 100% anybody can. I'm just doing it in a shed, and there's loads of others doing it. But you take your time and just research again. Just take your time and just look at, and like you say with the panels, just work out what's next, because you don't want to be doing work. But if you made a mistake, so what? You can go back to the panel if need be. You know what I mean? It's not a problem.
Exactly.
They're
You know what I mean?
available.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I can't come across. Like so, some people can do things like Matt Green, for instance. You know what I mean? He can chat. You know what I mean? And while he's working, I mean, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm very camera shy. If you know what I mean? If you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I just like to get on with it, and I do. You know what I mean? I just like to get on with it and just. But I like to. What I try to do, just to show people how it's done. So I've got the camera set up as closely as I possibly can, and just to let them see how it's how I do it. You know what I mean? Some people might do it a complete different way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, what I would suggest if somebody else is first starting out is to check out all the channels that are available. Because in my day, you didn't have that. It was just straight in and just learn by your mistakes. But now you can go on to YouTube and you can watch as many as you can possibly.
Someone's
watch.
always made the mistake for you. So
exactly.
If you can watch someone else, and I think honesty is the main thing. And there's a lot of guys that are, there's a lot of other people that will hide, but there's a lot of honest guys. And I'm one of the first to say, listen, I'm not an expert, I'm not professional. This is what I did, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? So then someone else, if you can save someone that time, effort and money, great. That's the way I see it. And I think you do put that across very well. So I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Like I say, there are bits like that. When you make mistakes, but once you've watched all the channels and watched them, what I would suggest is it's like playing the guitar, for instance. I mean, if you start to learn the guitar, the same thing applies. I mean, there's YouTube channels out there. There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the end result is still the same.
It is.
Come on, I mean. So what I would suggest is,
yes,
exactly. But what I would suggest is, if somebody's first starting out, is to go through these channels, look at them, but pick one or maybe two. You know what I mean? And stick with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I watch, like bodywork. That's not my forte. Bodywork and painting is not me. I absolutely hate it. You know what I mean? I do honestly. I absolutely detest it. I spent weeks on that pickup. You know what I mean? And that was a brand new car. I mean, every panel on that car was absolutely brand new. but it still needed tweaking. It still needed some bodywork here and there, because some of the, you know, some of the Heritage panels were fine, but the Magnum panels, you know, they're not very good.
No.
You know, compared to the Escort I've got, you know, they're all Magnum panels, but the quality of those compared to the Mini is second to none, and I don't understand that.
Maybe their passion is in the Ford stuff, not in the Mini stuff. Maybe it's just a number for them. You know,
well, the Ford stuff, yeah, but the Ford stuff only came along a few years ago. You know, you couldn't get Ford parts, you know, for the Escort. You know, I think you used to get pop-on. You know, now I'm going back probably, you know, before you were born, but you know, you had pop-on, and then that was it, and they were absolutely rubbish. You know what I mean? And then when Magnum started to do all these panels, you know, they were second to, honestly, the quality of those is absolutely fantastic. So why can't they do the exact same for the Mini?
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
It seems to be accepted, and I don't understand why. Just,
you
know, they could update it and say, right, this obviously isn't working. Why isn't it working? But they just, I've been to, obviously, Magnum's quite close to me. And I've been down into their workshop, into their presses and stuff like that to have a look round.
Yeah.
And they could quite easily work out why it's not working, but they're just pressing. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Pressing welding, not bothered.
Yeah.
So,
but if they're going to start like a project like a Mini, I mean, I would suggest either using Heritage panels or M-Machine. M-Machine's really good.
M-Machine, a lot of people rate M-Machine. I've never used anything yet from there, but a lot of people do rate it. So
because I couldn't get Heritage panels for the pickup, so I had to go down the M-Machine route, and I've never used it before. But the quality is absolutely fantastic, and you know, it just, you know, it's just my choice. You know.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Now you've mentioned, we'll go on to the next question. You've mentioned your some of your car history, but this will be interesting because I would like to know your dream 3-car garage.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this question. I knew it. My 3-car garage. I would like another Stratus. I really would. Probably from Jerry Hawkridge, Ken Hawk cars. They do the Cobra and that sort of stuff. Because his cars are quality. That's probably one of them.
Okay.
I've always wanted a Mark 1 RS, and I've got one, but it's, you know, I mean, that was something that I've always wanted. But the price of them are just through the roof. You know what I mean? And I managed to get that one for under 10 grand, but it's still, it was still a rock box. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but but that's the car I wanted. Got a third one. God Almighty. Maybe an old Zephyr.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. My father-in-law had one. I'm sure it was his old Zephyr. It was a two-tone. A dark blue and a silver, something like that, if I can remember. Something like that. You know what I mean? Nothing modern. I mean, I've got modern cars. They're nothing. You know, they're more comfortable. You know what I mean? They're more reliable. But
they're not fun.
I think
they're not fun though.
No, definitely not. I mean, they're just the same box on 4 wheels and that's it. I mean, there's no, there's no class about them. You know.
Yeah. No, that's that. Very, very good garage there. Absolutely superb. The Stratos, unbelievable car.
Yeah, definitely. And,
you know, and obviously everyone's got a soft spot for an RS Escort. Everybody. I don't care who you are. And obviously then the Zephyr. Yeah, that's a cool car. That. It's a very cool car. Yeah. And very underrated, I think, as well. Very underrated.
Either that or a Vanguard, an old Vanguard. I can remember when I was a teenager, I used to have one on my wall. And it was something that I've always wanted, but I never ever seen one like that. Yeah. You know, it was always like 4 doors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But this one was a cracker. You know, because my first one I ever done with my hot rod was a 1949 Austin Devon. And that was all based on a Fiat twin cam engine. Again, back in the 90s, you know, that was a thing. You know what I mean? The 3 litre Capri back axle, the Abarth 5-speed gearbox. You know what I mean? It had Toyota 5-stud, you know, wheels on it and that sort of stuff. Yeah. You know, that took me 5 years to do that. But that was a lovely car. Do you know what I mean? You know, I actually took a couple to the prom believe it or not, down to the town hall. And it was just, I mean, all big, massive big limousines and all that. And this old 1949 Austin Devon hot rod comes putting down the road, you know what I mean? It was quite funny, you know, it was good.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Right, let's move on to the next question. So, I ask everybody this, so I'll keep going. You've bought a Mini, there's no rush repair, you can't say wheels. What's your first modification?
See, that's a hard question. That is, that is a really difficult question. I think most people say the same, but it is a hard question. If it's going to be like the pickup, for instance, I mean, that was all drum brakes all the way around. You know what I mean? So the first thing I would do is obviously disc brakes. You know what I mean? I'd like to do a disc brake conversion on the rear if it's possible. I don't know if anybody's done it yet. I don't know, but that's something I would like to do. Definitely, you know what I mean?
I like
that.
Yeah.
That's probably the thing I'll probably do, is probably just make the car even more safer, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect answer. Perfect answer. Now, do you, obviously you've mentioned some of the previous cars and some of the previous builds you've done. Do you have any other hobbies other than cars?
Guitars.
Yeah, I've seen your videos.
I love my guitar. Started playing when I was about 11. Love the blues. Eric Clapton, B.B. King. You know what I mean? Warren Haynes, I don't know if you've heard of him. A band called Government Mule. He's really, really good. And just basically, you know, I don't play in a band or nothing like that, but I've done a gig once at work. It was a barbecue, and I was an absolute wreck. I was nervous as hell. Honestly, man, I was at the toilet a dozen times, you know what I mean? But honestly, see, after 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, 30 seconds even, into the first song, and that was it, I was away. I was in my own zone, and it was just, it was absolutely fantastic. It was amazing. It was really, really good,
Good,
music,
good.
you know, fantastic.
Now, again, you've got the pickup, you've got a minivan, you've got the Escort. So we established you like rust. We've worked that out. Is there any? Obviously, you. I think this question's already been answered, but we may go into it a bit more now. The Mark 1 Escort you've got. What was the reason? Is the reason for that it was the dream car, other than getting something like, I don't know, an MG or a Triumph or a, you know, what is it because it's always been the dream car? Is that the reason you moved on to that?
Yeah, I think it's because I had one before, not an RS, it was an Escort, and obviously, you know yourself, kids, you know, the wife, you know what I mean, you know, it's just, you know, money's not a money pit, you know what I mean, you know, we all have to work and pay our bills and things like that. And the first one I got, I think I paid about £400 for it, I think. I know, it's crazy, it was about £400 I paid back in maybe 2000, something like that. I bought it. Again, it was a rust bucket as well. And then obviously we moved house, so that's what it was. We were going to build our own house, that's what it was. So we sold everything. You know what I mean? We had a good clear out, sold everything, sold the car, sold the wife's car as well, got rid of that, just to save money.
It's just gone.
And that all fell through. It was a nightmare, so we had to find something else to do, you know what I mean, so, you know, to buy. So we ended up buying another one, but and then I managed to get this one 3 years ago, and I just retired as well last year, and that's when I decided, I mean, if I'm going to retire, because I'm still, exactly, you know, I'm only 56 years old, you know what I mean, I'm myself, you know what I mean, I need things to do, I've always been active all the time, and you know, and I thought, no, I need to get things, so I just went on a spending spree, I don't know why, I just went nuts, and the pickup, I didn't even see it, I bought that from eBay, the van was the same, that's a left-hand drive car.
Going back to the pickup, you scared the life out of me removing that bulkhead. I was like, you brave boys. That is, you see a lot of people, you see people putting floors in.
Yes.
You know, you see people doing the full cars. But a bulkhead's a big attempt. That's fair play. That I was very impressed. Impressed.
See, but it's the exact same again though, going back to the previous question, you've always got reference points.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So what I've done there was, I made up a jig, from under the car, and it bolts through where the rubber bushes go for your for your gear stick and that.
The backs mounts,
yeah, that's right, yeah. And from there on to the pickup points for your what do they call it?
Is it the tower bolts?
Your rack. No.
All right, your steering rack, yeah.
Yeah, your steering rack, and also your mounts for your subframe. Yes. You see, so that it's like an L-shaped sort of frame.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously we had everything all made up before we took it off, and then it just went back in. No problem. Honestly, it went back in the exact same place. And I think Randy's used the same idea for his floor.
Yes.
Because when he had it on the spit, it kept falling down. But that big plate there. So if you're changing a complete new floor, that's your reference points right away.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So it's going to go back in the exact same way it came back out. That's the theory.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There might be a wee bit of tweaking here and there, but that's the theory way to go. Then you just what I done was just put rivets in it or screws, self-tapping screws, until you start to set up your inner wings and your wings and your bonnet. Once you're happy with that, then you can go ahead and weld. Do you know what I mean? That's the whole idea of it. Oh yeah, it was scary. You know what I mean? It was scary, but the car was so far gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was just so far gone, and it was just a matter of. And I couldn't get a bulkhead for that year anywhere. I couldn't get one from Mini Spares. I couldn't get one from Bone Motif either. So I had to go down the route. So okay, I went for I think it's an MPI one.
Yes, that's what Tooley's got on his van. Yeah, Tooley.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He has. Yeah, and then he had it converted for the. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and but no, it was. Yeah, it was quite a moment. But But again, it's just.
Sorry, I took you off topic there. So.
No. It's just about taking your time. It's just having a wee bit of confidence, because that's the part of the build that I like doing best. See all this stuff, I love doing all that. It's the other bits I hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But but I know it's got to be done. But I really, really enjoy just get the rust bucket in and just go for it. You know what I mean? And just hope for the best that it works out.
So you see, the pickup came off eBay as well as the van.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. The guy bought it down in a white Transit. The van that came in, and he wasn't going to sell it at first. He had a better offer from, I think it was a Polish boy that wanted it, but after I think he's seen the videos or something on the pickup, and nice. So he decided to let me have it.
And where did the Escort come from?
The Escort came from Dunfermline. No, sorry, not Dunfermline. Oh God, it's just down the road. It's not very Dumfries. That's where it came from. Yeah, Dumfries. It's not very far.
Another eBay buy, or?
It was, it was on eBay, but before I bought it, obviously I had the AVO club to obviously to verify the VIN numbers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was but this guy's got two of them, and it belonged to his. There's quite an interesting story to that, because Stuart owned it for a good few years, and then his friend had it for many years, and then Stuart and then he bought it back off of him. So it's been in this, they're both close friends, so they've so in between the two exactly, you know what I mean. But it was again, it was it's like everything else. I mean, you start the project, and it just it gets deeper and deeper, and you think, bloody hell.
It does. Yeah. You think, when's it going to end? You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. But it lets you see the history, what's been going on. Because back in them days, I mean, you could fill up holes with filler and all sorts of things. You know what I mean?
Newspaper.
Exactly.
Mesh and it was almost like paper mache. Some of the wings that inner wings that I've seen people do. And the thing is, I've always said this to people. People get annoyed and upset about it, and they go, this repair, it's ridiculous. It's like, but that's how it was. You needed the car for Monday morning.
Yes,
you had to go back to work.
Exactly. Plus the fact
you any better.
No, exactly. Because I used to watch my dad do cars. I mean, in the army barracks. I mean, I used to go down to to the big massive garages and that where I used to work in there. I used to watch him filling cars up with cattle oil. I mean, I've actually seen
yeah.
painting a car with Dulux paint, thinning it down and put. Honestly,
My
Dulux high gloss.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just amazing what they used to do. But nowadays it's different nowadays because you can't get away with, things have to be welded, seam welded.
They do.
Yeah. It does
make it better. It does make it
Oh,
better.
God, yeah.
What I explain to people is that you can't. It was a period of time where it was acceptable to do that. So it wasn't that people were trying to cut corners or trying to con people.
No.
It's just what everybody did. It was part of it.
That was the norm.
When I picked my Mini up and some of the repairs on it, I had speaker wire for the horn and things like that, and at the time I was getting frustrated, and it was my uncle that turned around and said to me, but that's how they were repaired. The whole point of a Mini and an Escort and things like that is they were bought cheap and repaired cheap.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
could do it on your driveway with very little tools and very little knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's just, people just have to accept when you're taking a car apart from 60s, 70s, 80s, sometimes 90s, they are going to have these problems because...
Definitely. Yeah, that's how things were then. That's how they used to do things until they changed the health and the actual safety aspect of things. Things had to change.
It's right that they do it right. It's right that it's done correctly. But if you think for 1 second, I mean, I live in Greater Manchester, mate, and some of the body shops that I see churning out work around here, it's an absolute joke. Do you know what I mean? So if people still think that it's not done today, you're certainly mistaken. Unfortunately, it is. But I'd like to say the majority. People are more educated now. Parts are more available. You know yourself from the racing days and things like that. Back in the day, there was only one place to get your parts from, that's Demon Twigs. So if Demon Twigs said it was 300 quid, it was 300 quid, and what would you do about it? Now there's loads of other little companies now that have popped up and gone, hold on a minute, Demon Twigs are ripping you off there, I can do it for 200 quid. You know what I mean? And that's then created more availability and things like that,
Exactly.
And I think people need to understand that back in the day, it was almost... you couldn't afford it because there was only one person selling it, and he could sell it at whatever price he wanted. You know what I mean? So what could you do?
It's more competitive now. I mean, like you said, it's more of a sort of variety
it's
now.
Market. It's open market.
Exactly.
Really.
I mean, because what I miss more is the auto jumbles. I used to love going to auto jumbles. I mean, now there's nothing. Well, around here now, I mean, these used to be all the time. Now there's virtually any. There's hardly any left now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a shame because that's when you met a lot of people there. You know what I mean?
It was.
Chin wagging and that sort of stuff.
Even from my Vauxhall days, the first show I ever went to was not even a show, but it was an auto jumble down in Coventry, and I got my Nova Saloon 1.2, and gone down and met up with people, like-minded people that are interested in the same thing as you, and it was always that kicked off the show season. It does with the minis.
It does.
It kicks off the show season. Everybody wants to get the parts and run home and fit them and then have them ready for the show. It's just great.
Exactly, because it gives everybody a boost. You know what I mean? It gives them that that lift. And it gets them into the garage. It gets them on the driveway. You know what I mean? Doing their cars, you know what I mean? And if you've had a bad day, it's just to leave it. Honestly, I mean, if you have a bad day, just to leave it and always try and finish up on a high. So you're coming out the next day or the next weekend, on a positive note, not thinking, not thinking, oh God, I've got this to do again today. This is going to be a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Advice, that.
I'm
an overthinker, mate. Because at work all day, I'm thinking, when I get home, I'm going to do this. Well, what if that happens? And I'm terrible for it. But you've just got, like you say, you've just got to have a go sometimes. And just if you knacker it up, one, there's plenty of people to advise you how. There's a lot of idiots out there that think they know more than you. But so what? There's a lot of help and advice out there that will help you. So
definitely. It's just a hobby. You know what I mean? It's just a hobby. That we all like to do. You know what I mean? You've got different people out there with all different skills.
Yes.
You've got Alex Toon, loves his, the detail and all.
Man,
he's the details. You know what I mean? That's what he likes. He's really into that. And so is Keith Miller. He's really good as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the most passionate guy out there for minis has to be DB Mini.
Yeah, do you know what? DB was one of the first people I watched, if not the first. He was one of the first anyway. And again, like you say, he just loves them. He just loves them. He just loves rust, basically.
His passion. Yeah, but it's just his passion for it. I mean, it's just for the Mini. It's just it's just second to none. Everybody likes their Minis.
Well. It's infectious.
Definitely. Definitely.
Right, well, again, we'll move on because we're absolutely, the time is just going up. But
it is.
I enjoy these. If nobody watches them, mate. Me and you have had a good laugh. I don't care.
Well, that's good. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Another question for you then. Again, you've done a lot of work on cars and things. What's the hardest job you've ever had to do on any vehicle? Could be Mini, could be anything. What's a job that you just think, I'm not doing that again?
The job, well, apart from painting and all the rest of it, but I think the worst job when restoring it, which I found on the Mini, was the doors. Yeah. You know what I mean? With the external hinges, absolute nightmare. And why they have 2 A panels, I'll never know. There's no need for it.
No.
You know what I mean? Because that's just going to cause problems. You know what I mean? It's just 2 bits of metal together, and we all know what that does. It just rots. It just rots out. I think it should be either a thicker outer A panel, and then take it from there. You know what I mean? Because the slightest, because what I started to do on the pickup as well as what I've done with that is, when I finally fitted the doors, I was happy with the doors, where the bolts go through the hinges, because the holes are quite big.
Yes.
Compared to the fixing holes. You know what I mean? So I weld in the washer, so it's a perfect, nice, tight fit. So when you lean on the door, it's not going to start dropping. It's going to stay roughly where where it should be. But that's the worst thing I hated on that car is, give me a dozen Minis to do, not a problem, but see those doors, absolutely.
Someone else can do that.
Hated it, absolutely hated it.
So, obviously, again, we've covered that. What made you start your YouTube channel? What made you pick up the camera and have a go yourself and just film it? What was the reason for that?
Well, it was my son's idea.
Right.
I don't know why, or maybe I do know why, but I won't go into that. But the thing is, he he wanted to start it, and I thought, why not? But I can't download things on the computer. I'm absolutely hopeless. You know what I mean? So he comes to me. I'll do all the recordings on my phone, and then he'll, put it on my computer for me, and then
do it.
Then he will do it. But because of COVID and all the rest of it, and I've been in that hospital and getting stuff done in there, I have not had a lot of time to do recordings. I have been in the garage thinking about, you know what I mean, getting things done on the pickup. But it was just generally his idea, and I used to look forward to it because it gives you something, to aim for. You know what I mean? I've got to get this done for for Friday night. But life gets in the way. It does.
Life doesn't hold back for anybody, mate.
No, it doesn't, mate. It doesn't. No,
the good thing is it's a good documentation. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's fair enough. 2 more questions then. The second to last question. You don't have to go Mini, guys, because some people go, I don't want to miss anybody out. So if you don't want to go Mini, guys, you can do if you want, but just name a few of your favourite channels that you like to watch. Can be Mini, can be anything else, don't matter.
There's one I've just discovered. It's called Performance. I think it's called Performance Classics. A guy called Craig. He's doing a Mark 1 RS, and this guy is. It's a brand new channel. I mean, well, it's probably a few months old now, but the workmanship is just fantastic. I mean, he's really, really good. You know what I mean? And there's another one which I like to watch, which is Auto Motor School, which is a guy called Pete, American guy. If you're not into bodywork like I am, he's more old school as well. Do you know what I mean? I think he used to be an ex-marine or something, but he does a lot of American hot rods, that sort of stuff. So these people are spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For him to do these cars, and what he does for like some rusty old wrecks. You know what I mean? He uses a lot of vinegar and water, old school stuff. You know what I mean? To purify the metal and things like that. It's really, really good for likes of that. And also, obviously, I watched a lot of mini guys as well. You know what I mean? I watched them all. Honestly, I watched all the mini people and that. And Paul P. He reminds me of myself 20, 30 years ago. Honestly, it does, because the ideas that come up with it, I'm thinking to myself, what? That's something I would have done.
I love him.
20, 30 years ago, you know, and he's such, and he comes across such a nice guy as well. You know what I mean? He's, you know,
I've met him a few times. I know Paul. I'd say I know Paul quite well personally, and he's genuinely one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life. He's such a nice character as well.
Yeah.
He is like the Discovery Channel shows though, because I always remember watching him building his Paul P his mini build, and he'd go, right, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then 30 minutes later, go, I've done that, and that. And I'm like, what? That would take me 3 weeks.
yeah. Well, again, it's just because he's had practice. I mean, you know, that's his passion. It's just it's as I was saying before. It's putting the time into it, and I mean, and just taking your time. I mean, anybody can do it. You know, anybody can do it. I mean, you know.
They can. No, it's fair enough. Some good suggestions there. I'll have a look at some of them that you've just said there. And obviously, like you said, I know you've had some health issues and things like that. What can we expect coming up on the channel when you can get back to it? What's coming up?
Well, the pickup is about 90% finished now.
I think everybody wants to see a conclusion on that. I mean, they're never finished. They're never 100%. But I think everybody would like.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They're always ongoing. You know what I mean? It's I managed to get it running yesterday. Yeah, so it absolutely, it sounds sweet. You know what I mean? It's got the. I think you're after one for your mini. Is it a flow exhaust system or something? Is it? A stage one flow exhaust system and all that on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. It responds so well to stage ones. Responds so well.
Yeah, but they are beautiful sound, and just done all the clutch, prepared the clutch, the brakes. I'm just waiting on a new radiator coming. Hopefully that'll come tomorrow, and then I can get it on the deck, and I'm just to do the carpets and the seats, and then that's it finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so I think we'd all like to see that. So that's coming up.
That's coming up, and then I've got my the mini van, which I started, which I stopped doing that because I was waiting on panels coming from mini spares and that. You know what I mean? Now, I was just waiting for weeks. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And so I was getting fed up with waiting. So I thought of starting the Escort, but the big mistake with the Escort was because again it's on a jig. When you start taking things off, you can't start to move it. You know what I mean? So I had to get to a stage with the Escort. Do you know what I mean? You know, before I can finish off the. You know, so before I can get back onto the pickup, back onto the van again, because all I was waiting on was 2 panels for the van, so I can get it on the jig, get those 2 panels put on the car, then it's ready for the underside to be, you know what I mean, all cleaned up and primed and painted and stone chipped and all the rest of it. Then I can start putting the subframes on the back, the tank, that sort of stuff, and then back on the floor.
Wow.
You see, so that was the plan before I started the Escort. So so I've got the van. I've got the Escort, but I've also got a 1991 Mini Cooper as well. But I'm in 2 minds of doing something different with that.
Cool.
There's a lot of people that would like to own a pickup. You know what I mean? But they're far, you know what I mean, they are rare and they're bloody expensive.
They are pups are very expensive, very expensive.
There's one on eBay, the new, I don't know if you've seen it, it's a green one. And this thing, it's worse than mine. It's absolutely, it's almost folded in half. And they want nearly £3,000 for it.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. You know, there's nothing. Even I can do nothing with that.
You're buying a V5 there. You're buying a V5.
Yes, there's a V5 there. So I thought maybe converting a saloon into a proper pickup.
Wow.
That's what I thought about doing. But doing it, you know what I mean, with all the proper panels. You know what I mean? Because you can get all the panels for it. And I thought, well, you know, it's needing a new floor, a back floor anyway. It's needing new rear quarter panels. I thought, you know what I mean, you know, would that be a good idea to do? I don't know. Or maybe put some feelers out on the channel and see what happens, and
definitely.
and see what response I get from that. You know what I mean? Because honestly, there's loads and loads of people, especially on the pickup channel on Facebook. You know, I mean, there's loads of people that would love to own a pickup, but obviously they can't get them, or they, you know,
well, that's
they
it.
just can't afford
One that
them.
hard to come by, and when they do, like say $3,000 for a basic for a V5, and that's about it really. You know,
Yeah,
you are starting again.
Well, exactly, and you can get a shell for £500. You know, a normal saloon shell, and if that's what you fancy, a pickup, then that might be the way to go. You know.
No, I would like to see that. Well, listen, it's as always. This has been such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out, Tony. I really, really appreciate it. It's
not a problem at all.
I've really
honestly.
enjoyed this. And like I say, if nobody watches me, I don't care.
No,
we've had a laugh, mate.
We've had great fun. You know what I mean? It's good to talk to you, and it'd be good to meet up someday. And obviously the rest of the people now, you know what I mean?
That's it, definitely. When it's
you know,
all
when
gone.
this is. Yeah, I mean, I hope it all goes. I mean, because I've been in this bloody house since March. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's been, it's not been very good for any of us, I don't think. You know what I mean?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. But
and
hopefully we'll come through the other side. We'll all restored cars, and we'll come through the other side. We'll all meet up and show what we've been up to.
Definitely. You know, it'd be good to see everybody. You know, one day for the for the big shows, and just and sort of look back on this, and just think ourselves lucky that we're still here.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, Tony. I really, really appreciate it. And obviously, I wish you good health. And I also hope you can get back to the YouTube very soon. Thank you.
I will do. Thank you, Alex. Thanks very much, pal. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
No worries.